Hello, I'm attorney Lewis Haskell, and today is the day we've all been waiting for. Today is the day that the Small Business Administration has finally put out its Paycheck Protection Program loan forgiveness application form. So now, for the first time, we have some understanding of what the SBA expects from us when seeking payroll forgiveness. What documents we're going to need, what information we're going to need, and what the rules are. And there's one rule in particular that I want to talk about because, just yesterday, I posted a video in which I said the SBA needs to get on its horse and give us some guidance on what the relevant payroll is for forgiveness purposes. The regulations say payroll paid and accrued during the 8-week covered period, the 8 weeks from the time you get the money. Most people were interpreting that to mean paid during those 8 weeks, which I thought would be problematic because a lot of businesses had furloughed employees or had otherwise taken advantage of some of the provisions in the various stimulus bills to pare down their payroll. And those paychecks would be, or non-paychecks really, would be the first paycheck of the 8-week period. That did not make sense, it did not seem fair, and it does not accomplish the purposes of the Payroll Protection Program, which is to encourage such employers to bring their workers back, put them on their own payroll, put them back to work, get their businesses going again. I am pleased to report that the SBA sees it the same way. Their new rule is that they're going to look at the 8 weeks of payroll that accrued during the covered period, even if it's not paid during the covered period, so long as that last paycheck is made in the ordinary course. So, if you pay your payroll biweekly, you've got those 2 weeks, or whenever your normal biweekly paycheck comes out, to make payroll, even though it's outside of the 8-week period. Obviously, they don't want people saying, okay, I'm going to wait a month, I'm going to wait 2 months to pay my employees. But as long as it's in the ordinary course, or sooner, you're allowed to roll it forward. Those are the 8 weeks that'll be forgiven. And so anybody who's been approved for a PPP loan has an opportunity to call back their employees and put them to work. So that's a very good rule. I was very pleased to see the SBA make it, and naturally I'm taking all the credit for it. The other thing that they did, which was kind of nice and unexpected, it's not substantively important, but it makes things a lot easier, is they have created something called the Alternative Payroll Covered Period. Unfortunately, most people getting loans had little or no control over when they received the money. The banks were doing everything so quickly, they weren't even talking to the borrowers. Money could come in on a Wednesday, it could come in, in the middle of a pay period, it could come in whenever. And so if you literally say 8 weeks means from the day you get the money until 8 weeks after that day, going in and trying to calculate what your payroll was during those 8 weeks would just be a pain in the neck. They are allowing people to say, as long as your pay period is biweekly or less, that when you get the money, you can start at the beginning, you can start your 8 weeks for payroll purposes at the beginning of the first pay period that follows the receipt of the money. As a result, if you got your money on a Wednesday and a new pay period starts the following Monday, you can say my 8 week starts Monday, and you can just look at your weekly or biweekly payroll, and you don't have to do a lot of higher math to figure out what your covered payroll is. That's nice because the rest of the form is a bear. Okay, it's 11 pages, which I guess is simple for government standards. That includes instructions. And the information that they want is kind of bizarre. So I'm going to make 2 quick points and then maybe dig in a very little bit. I'll probably do another video in a couple of days, digging into it a little more in a little bit of detail, just because, well, my eyes have kind of glazed over trying to figure this one out. My first point is this: if you needed help filing your PPP application, you're absolutely going to need help doing this. This thing is way more complicated and far more difficult. The other point I want to make is a lot of payroll companies were very cooperative about putting together spreadsheets or other information, or getting us the information we needed to do our PPP applications. Everyone who has a PPP loan should be reaching out to their payroll company to make sure that they're going to help out here. Because here you need a lot of different information, and a lot of it is hard to calculate. And, you know, for example, they want to know what your full-time equivalents were on February 15, 2020, and then you need to compare that to your full-time equivalents from the pay period after that until the pay period including April 26th, and then you need to compare, and if you pass that comparison test, you need to compare your February 15 full-time equivalents to your June 30, 2020 full-time equivalents. Already I think you're starting to get a sense that going through your payroll records and trying to figure out what I'm talking about is not going to be fun, but they don't stop there. To do some of these tests, you get to choose or elect a base period of February 15, 2019 to June 30, 2019, or January 1, 2020 to February 29, 2020. Note that those two periods are completely different from the periods I just talked about, but also needing to look at full-time equivalents. You also need to compare wages for your 8-week period to the oh gosh, what was it? I think it was a period of February 15 to June 30 of this year last. And put another way, there are just a lot of different time periods you've got to go through your payroll records and look at in order to figure this thing out. Hopefully your payroll company will be cooperative in digging through that, but then you still have this whole form to do. So, but it's doable. I've worked through it, you know, using estimates for the future just to see how it worked in my own office, and it's not bad. So I do look forward to helping people deal with this. And until then, I urge everyone to stay strong and stay safe, and I look forward to speaking with everyone in the future. Thank you.